So right now it is, I was going to say 12:53, but it's 12:54. I'll take that off. I might as well give myself a head cut when I get back too. Full circle. Obviously the ADHD meeting's at 6 o'clock. So if I leave at 5 o'clock, it'll be giving time about 40 minutes. So obviously gym, groceries, come back home and chill out till about 5 there. Well, I'll check it at 4 o'clock because if there's been a car crash, which is very, very rarely, but still, it doesn't matter if it's very, very rarely on that situation. It's like, oh, you know what? About every 1,000 times I hop on the road, there might be one, maybe two car crashes. So I don't need to check it, but you know what? On the situation where you're going to be late because it's those one or two times that there was a car crash, it doesn't matter that it only happens one or two times because at this time you're going to be late. So I'll check my map at 4 o'clock if the traffic's picked up. If the traffic's like 40 minutes to get there and it's like 4 o'clock, then not 5 o'clock, then you know something's happened or there's some sort of road work, so get going. Full circle. Here's my joy about full circle. It's fear. Because someone might be putting in the heart. People could say confirmation burps. I haven't eaten anything in nearly 2 hours and I was burping. Confirmation burps. It's fear. Because if you put in all the hard yards and the hard yards and the hard yards for an extended amount of time, for like 2 to 3 years, and this other person has put in the same amount of work for like 2 to 3 years, but they're just naturally more skilled or more talented, you're going to get frustrated, right? Now the full circle comes in, like, for example, I graduated my degree in 2010 and got my national certificate in 2014, but 12 years ago, and see, some people, their cycles are like 4 years. Some are 7, some are 8, and some are 12. Some are 9 years. It's the ones that I've seen. And there's pros and cons to everything, but I know that mine is 12-year cycles. It definitely is not fun when you're trying to get the breakthroughs in that, and it's not happening. But the thing is obviously at the end of this 12-year cycle, I won't be going backwards. It'll just mean, full circle, so, well, I already know that I won't be struggling at the end of it, or going into it, but, there's just certain things I learned. I'm glad I never used to do anything and I only very rarely said something, but majority of the time I just kept putting the work in and kept learning lessons, and I'm glad that's the case because, now people are doing the same thing to me. So when I see people give attitude but they don't do anything, and I see they're either a lot younger, or like a decade younger, or maybe, even the same age, because it might be that they were in a very, very well-off position and they treated people like trash and were always spreading rumors and backstabbing people and talking bad about people to them and ripped them off and things like that, and they were going off really well, but now it's a new cycle, or their cycle started going along later on, like it's a bit later on, and now they're getting everything that they put out. That's why it's so important to treat people with respect when you're doing well, and to not give up, and to learn the lessons and know that your time is coming in the hard times. So when I see people give me attitude but they don't do anything to sabotage me, they don't do anything and they occasionally say something. You know what? The whole aspect of full circle means you'll get your turn, buddy. I graduated my degree and then I went into unemployment, right? And it took me a decade to pay up that degree because paying 2% every week, right? Because you had to make an agreement to pay it off. At the time I was unemployed, so I had the benefits, so lowest amount possible, but eventually just chipping away at it. And it maintained, obviously, until I paid it off. So this time around, I didn't pass my exams, I didn't get the cybersecurity stuff. But I'm fully employed, right? I've already paid it up. Like, I have, another week? But I have to wait till that week's over before I book another exam, and I have to have it done by November. So, and then you have to book it again. You have to jump online to see what's available, right? So when it gets to like December the 30th, I have to see if there's anything available before November the 1st. But I already sat the exam 3 times, and my third time I got 78%. First and second time I got in the 60s, 63, 67%. But hey, I've already paid up the whole course. It ain't going to take me a decade. I'm not going to be unemployed for nearly 2 years and then get 6 months worth of employment and then another year unemployed and then 6 years worth of unemployment. No, 6 years worth. Okay, so a year unemployed and then 6 months employment, and then another year unemployed and then 6 months employment and then. No, okay, so I graduated in 2010, but 2010 I only had 1 paper to sit. They granted me mercy there because I passed everything. I passed everything except for 1 paper, and there was like 6, 8 papers per year, and out of the 24 papers, I passed 23 in 3 years. So they said, you can just sit that 24th one a second time, because I passed the other 23. So yeah, 2 years unemployment, then it was 6 months employment, 1 year unemployment, then 6 months employment, and then 2 years unemployment, and then into full year round. I'm already fully employed. I've already paid up the bill. And I'm just not going to give up until I know it's going to happen. I mean, I got a bachelor's degree in multi-stage, a national certificate in youth work. I got a forklift license, a full driver's license, got no criminal record. Got a good stable work history now. I mean, 2 places I've worked 3 years, and another one I worked 2 years, and and I got a certificate in Scrum Mastery. I got a it's bound to get to it. You know what I'm saying? But I see some people giving me attitude, but they're very self-controlled. They're not doing anything, and they're not saying anything. But then you see them elsewhere at the gym. We see them putting in the hard yards, and my thought pattern is, good on them, and eventually, unless they get sabotaged and ripped off and all that type of thing, but hopefully all those things don't happen so that they can get the blessings as soon as possible. Because sometimes you don't reap what you sow when it comes to those things. It's just a lesson to learn. Alright, that's full circle. See,